severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to go on until around, Julia, do you remember when that severe thunderstorm warning goes on until? 7:30. 7:30. And that's going to be for Crittenden County, Cross County, those who are in Arkansas, Lee, Arkansas, Mississippi County, Arkansas, St. Francis, DeSoto, Shelby, and Tipton. Again, if I just named your county, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning with a threat of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That will more than likely knock out your power, and it's tracking off towards the east around 55 miles per hour. So this is what we're looking at right now across the Mid-South. On top of that, have a tornado watch. It goes on until around 11 o'clock for this morning, primarily along and south of I-40. Now, last time you saw me, I was circling this area from Winton all the way to Helena, West Helena. This is the line of storms that we're keeping an eye on. It is going to bring the strongest winds east of the Mississippi River and bring that potential for power outages, something we've been talking about all week long. We also have those storms to our south that's also producing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So I put a tracker on the entire line, even those who are not under that severe thunderstorm warning. It'll be in Drummond's at 7:01. Right now it's 6:49, so you have about 11 minutes. Downtown Memphis around 7:13. Arlington right around 7:26. Collierville at 7:31, Humboldt around 7:48, and Jackson, Tennessee at 7:58. I know right now a lot of kids are about to head to the bus stop, or you're about to drive them to the bus stop. That line of storms will make its way into downtown Memphis at 7:13. So this is around the time you normally leave the house. You want to stay put until this line of storms move on through, because it's going to reduce visibility, especially with that heavy rain coming on down and that threat for damaging wind gusts of around 70 miles per hour. You don't know what limbs are going to be falling down when that line of storms move on in. Here's that storm that's from Cody all the way to Helena, West Helena. That's going to be a little bit farther to our southwest. It also has the threat for damaging wind gusts of around 70 miles per hour as it tracks off towards the east, and it's already moving through Helena, West Helena right now. And I'm going to continue to track it past the box. It's going to be over in Hamlin at 6:58. Tunica at 7:01, which will be past when that severe thunderstorm warning goes off, but I'm going to still put you on there. Trinity at 7:11, Horn Lake at 7:16, and Hernando at 7:22. Again, that's that severe thunderstorm warning that currently includes Helena, West Helena, and in Tunica. And then farther south than that, we also have another storm that's currently making its way through Clarksdale. That will continue to track off towards the east, bringing damaging wind gusts. Now to our south, we're also seeing a little bit of rotation. This is near Hughes, also near Council. This is over in East Arkansas, about to make its way into northwest Mississippi near Horseshoe Lake. There are no active tornado warnings on it. Just be aware, though, there's some rotation there in that line of storms as it tracks off towards the east. So if you're just tuning in, we do have a tornado warning. So we do have a tornado warning for Crittenden County. Where is it? There it is.
So we have a tornado warning now for Crittenden County, Tipton County, and Shelby County. That is going to be the northwestern portion of Shelby County. It is radar indicated.
Okay, so we're going to go up and find this tornado. I see where it is. Right here. That's where that rotation is. Do you know, this is Julia 5 talking over in the Weather Center. What's the speed on it?
So right now it is moving east at 40 miles per hour.
Moving east at 40? Okay, so this is the storm that we're looking at right now. There's that area of circulation. If you live in Terrell or in Clarkdale over in Crittenden County, you need to go to your safe place. Not only are you dealing with the potential for a tornado, you're also most definitely going to be dealing with 70 mile per hour wind gusts. My producer just talked to me. I do believe we have a camera in that area. This is what it looks like right now. You can see the flashes of lightning when it starts to brighten up. The sun's going to rise after the 7 o'clock hour. Roadways, they are slick. Visibility, it's going to go low. And it looks like the storm is also tightening on up. So I'm going to go ahead and track it for you. It's moving east towards the northeast around 45 miles per hour, Julia?
It is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour.
40 miles per hour. All right, so we're going to put a tracker on this as it tracks off towards the east. And I'm going to go back and clean this up. It is right here. here is the storm. If you live in Terrell and Clarkdale along I-55, make sure you're already in your safe place. And that also includes Drummond's at the far end. All right, here's that timing. Right now, it's 6:52. If you live in Terrell, you can expect that rotation to arrive around 7 o'clock. And again, this is radar indicated, not confirmed yet. Julia will let me know when it's actually confirmed, but you need to treat it like it's on the ground. It'll be in lock right around 7:16, Cuba at 7:19, Sloanville at 7:22, and Millington, go ahead and be in your safe place. You can expect that line of circulation to arrive around 7:26. So this is our first tornado warning in our area. It includes Crittenden County as well as parts of Shelby County, and it goes on until, what time was that, Julia?
They just extended it to 7:45 now.
7:45. All right, so we do have that tornado warning until 7:45 for Crittenden County as well as Shelby County and Tipton as well, right, Julia?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking at. Terrell, you have about 7 minutes until that circulation makes its way to your area. St. Thomas around 7:10, Locke at 7:16, Sloanville at 7:22, and Millington, you can expect that circulation around 7:26. And this is going to be a dangerous situation, especially since we have wind being a threat as well. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. It looks like it's going to go close to I-55 between Terrell and Clarkdale. That's going to be around the 7 o'clock hour. So in the next 6 minutes, and can we, if the producer can hear me, can you check and see if there's a camera between Terrell and Clarkdale on I-55? So, okay, so she's going to check so we can see if that, we could actually see a funnel cloud as that line of storms track on through, as that possible tornado makes its way through. From there, it's going to track to Lambertville. Here's that camera right here. We're just seeing some rain, really hard to tell the cloud structure, but the roadways are slick. There's people on it because it's around the time people make their commute to work and school. So we do have that line of storms, have that tornado warning. It goes on until 7:45. That line of storms also have that major threat for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and those strong winds will continue to track off towards the east over the next few hours. And this is around the time everyone is headed to work and school. I highly recommend, if you are going to be experiencing the storm within the next 30 minutes, stay put until it moves on through. So here is that timing as we speak. Right now it's 6:55. We are going to be seeing that line of storms arrive in West Memphis at 7:12. Downtown Memphis at 7:31, Collierville at 7:58, Oakland at 8:07, Wolf River at 8:07 as well, and Bolivar around 8:50. On top of that, we do have a tornado watch. It goes on until around 11 o'clock for this morning, mainly for those along and south of I-40. So that tornado warning, that's going to be to our north. It's North Shelby County. It includes Tipton and Crittenden County, and that goes on until around 7:45 for this morning. I know that we've been dealing with power outages already for this morning. That will continue to go on up. Those numbers will, once that line of storms track on through, because it is bringing that threat for damaging wind gusts, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Terrell, the line of storms already making its way in. It'll be there officially in about 3 or 4 minutes, so hopefully you're hearing me from your safe place. This line of storms will continue to make its way off towards the east around 40 miles per hour. And be in Clarkdale around 7:02, St. Thomas at 7:09, and Pecan Point right at 7:18. So if you are just joining us, we are dealing with some storms across the Mid-South. We have a tornado watch for along and south of I-40 across North Mississippi and East Arkansas and Shelby County all the way to Selmer until 11 o'clock this morning. There's that tornado warning until 7:45. That includes parts of Shelby County. It looks like we have a new update. Julia.
Severe thunderstorm warning for Memphis, Tennessee till 7:45.
Is the same threat 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts?
It is already, so it's moving 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts now.
So it's speeding up.
Yes, and it's moving northeast at 60 miles per hour now.
All right, so I'm going to bump this speed up to 60 miles per hour. Here's the line of storms that we've been tracking all morning long. Already have that tornado warning for parts of Crittenden County into Shelby, including Millington. Please be in your safe places as this line of storms track on through. Here's this line of storms bringing that 70 mile per hour wind threat. It'll be in West Memphis around 7:03, so in about 6 minutes. It'll be in downtown Memphis at 7:16, Oakland at 7:41, Dyer at 7:51, Bolivar at around 8:11. But there is that tornado warning until 7:45, and that is going to be this area right here near Hughes, also seeing it near Horseshoe Lake, and that's going to continue to track off towards the east around 40 miles per hour. And here we go. There's that area of rotation. That was a little bit farther south. It's near Clarkdale. And I do believe we still have that camera in the area. It still looks like it has some broad rotation where it is between Booker and Clarkdale. You can see the green, that's Booker, Clarkdale, and red. That area is what we're going to be keeping an eye on. So it looks like it's crossing over I-55 right now as we speak. The next area of concern looks to be Locke on this side of the screen. You make sure you're in your safe place. So it's on the southern half of this polygon. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and track this one out. Let's do speed of 40 miles per hour. Put it in the center of circulation, and here we go. It'll be over in E.E. Jeter Elementary School at 7:18 if it moves around 40 miles per hour. Locke at 7:18, Sloanville at 7:25, Millington at 7:29, and Millington School of Dance at 7:30. So if you know any of those areas or know anyone who lives in that area, just know there's an area of rotation that has prompted a tornado warning for Crittenden, also for Shelby and Tipton, that goes on until around 7:45. Outside right now, we're just dealing with gusty winds and, of course, dealing with that heavy rain, which will reduce visibility. Julia, do you have an update for me? Anything new?
Nothing new, but we're still under that wind advisory with those gusty winds. I have a graphic pulled up showing the current winds, and again, we can get up to 60 miles per hour, and outside nearing that area seeing heavy rains and several accidents across the Mid-South.
And do we know anything about the power outages across the area?
They are already starting to go up. Everything that they had cleared out, we're now up to 500 power outages across the Mid-South. That main area looks to be inside that 240 loop, especially along 240, heading into that Midtown area. That's where we're seeing a lot of those power outages. Most of those are still waiting to be prepared, and we're just seeing them, even more expanding power outages, again, mainly inside that 240 loop. They're just continuing to go up with those gusty winds. We've got that wind advisory and all of those warnings in effect.
And if we look at radar, you notice the line of storms, the strongest part, hasn't even arrived yet to Shelby County. It's actually about to cross the river in less than 10 minutes, and it's going to bring that threat of 70 mile per hour winds. So I do have this area outlined as it tracks off towards the east. It'll be in Memphis around 7:16. It'll be in Collierville at 7:34, Oakland at 7:39, Whiteville at 7:58, Jackson, Tennessee at 8:07, and Henderson right around 8:22. So that line is quickly racing off towards the east at 60 miles per hour, bringing that 70 mile per hour wind threat, bringing the threat for power outages this early in the morning. And this is the time when a lot of people are dropping their kids off at the bus stop when they're also headed to work. So please be careful as we deal with reduced visibility as these storms move on in. We're also dealing with that tornado warning. That includes Terrell and Clarkdale. Looks like it's starting to pick up just a little bit in this area. And go ahead and delete this. But you notice it's starting to pick up just a little bit in Clarkdale. It's already made its way east of I-55, and it's going to continue to track off towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So once that makes its way, give it about 18 minutes, and it'll be at E.E. Jeter Elementary School. So if you know where that school is, that's where that line of circulation is moving. It looks like we just got a fresh update on where it's going. Very concerned about this area. Julia, have they mentioned anything in chat about?
They said they are monitoring circulation near Terrell right now.
Yeah, it's just south of Terrell. Here it is right here. You can kind of see where that circulation is. And it looks like a real, like the setup is a hook on this tornado-warned storm. So it's going to continue to track off towards the east. Is it still 40 miles per hour? Yes.
It is moving 60 miles per
60
hour.
the tornado warning?
Oh, the tornado warning.
Yeah. I put it at 40, but if it makes its way in 40, it'll be in Cuba around 7:21.
Miles per hour, yes. And then we have a new severe thunderstorm warning as well.
Okay.
This one's going to be for Mississippi, northern Mississippi, Panola, Quitman, and Panola and Quitman counties.
So Sloanville, Lighthouse Christian Academy, and Dixonville still under that tornado warning until around 7:45. Right now it's 7:03. This is the area that we're looking at. So if you live in Terrell, Clarkdale, it looks like that area of circulation has already moved on through. Do we have a camera in, like a Arkansas RDOT camera in that area that we can see? All right, so you can see it's getting brighter out there. Visibility, it is low. Everyone looks to be going slow right now, as they should, because we are going to be dealing with those stronger storms and this tornado warned storms. You probably hear the sirens going off if you live in Clarkdale, in Terrell, in Dixonville, because these storms are going to continue to track off towards the east. Lots of lightning in there, and again, heavy rain. See, they have their flashers on. That means the visibility is so low, they probably can't even see the person in front of them. Highly recommend you stay off of the roadways as we deal with these severe storms as they quickly make its way through the Mid-South. Here's what's going on the map behind me. I have this because it's showing circulation. The circulation just shows where there might be the tornado, and that tornado could be right here, just to the east of Clarkdale. And it's going to continue to track off towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So really concerned about those who live within this area of circulation. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. Tracks off towards the east. It'll be in St. Thomas right around 7:08. Corona at 7:11. Pecan Point at 7:14. West Union at 7:16. And Dixonville right around 7:19. You can see where that circulation is. And this is the areas that have the best chance of seeing a possible tornado. It is radar indicated, but with the way that it's shaped right now, the setup, there is a good chance we can see something in there. So make sure you are in your safe place. If you hear my voice or know someone who lives in that area, make sure they're also in their safe place. Really not getting, this is our correlation coefficient, so it'll kind of show if there actually is any debris being picked on up. I'm going to see if we can kind of loop it the last 30 minutes to see if we can actually get an idea. And this will be the circulation right here. Can't really tell from this, but we're going to keep an eye on it just in case. But right now it's still radar indicated, and we'll continue to stay off towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So if you live over in Lock, Cuba, or in Millington, just make sure you're in your safe place as we keep an eye on this tornado warned cell. It goes on until around 7:45. Right now it's 7:06, and it looks like it's moving pretty fast. They either might extend it, or they will more than likely just make it into a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, the main circulation is just south of Lambethville. We have South Forest Road. It's also going to make its way near River Road. So if you live in these areas, or you know these areas, like Cuba, Millington Road, also Herring Hill Road, West Union, go ahead and be in your safe place. Another road on this map is Corona Road, which is near Corona, County Road 333, and Devil's Elbow Road. That's where that area of circulation is headed. It's going to be making its way off towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So if you are just joining us, we've had a very active morning across the Mid-South. We have that tornado watch. It goes on until around 11 o'clock for this morning, mainly along and south of I-40. It aligns with that tornado warning that's on the northern tip of Shelby County, as well as Crittenden County and into Tipton County. And then notice that yellow, that's the severe thunderstorm warning. That includes Shelby, DeSoto, Tate, Tunica, and goes farther south into Panola, as well as Yalabusha, and looks like Quitman to our south. In that thread is 70 mile per hour wind gusts. We had power outages this morning across Shelby County, and the main line hadn't even moved on through. We do have that wind advisory. It goes on until around midnight for tonight, as wind gusts are going to get up to around possibly 55 to 60 miles per hour. But a very active morning across the Mid-South. Julie, you have an update for us?
Yeah, so we're just starting to see those power outage numbers really go up. We're already seeing a problem area within the 240 loop. Lots of power outages across the Mid-South. We just have a new problem area. That's going to be on Austin P as you're heading towards that I-40 line. So we're seeing up to over 100 customers without power in that area. Again, we are under that wind advisory, and that is the section where that warning is moving into, where we are expecting those winds up to 70 miles per hour. Now, current wind gusts right now, we are seeing up to 50 across the Mid-South, sustained winds around 30 miles per hour across the Mid-South. So we're going to be continuing to keep an eye on those power outages. They just keep climbing across the Mid-South, and we are under those thunderstorm warnings, and we do have that tornado warning going into effect until 7:45 as well.
All right, thank you, Julia. So as Julia mentioned, we're dealing with those outages right now in parts of Shelby County. That main line is currently making its way across the river. Already seeing that heavy rain. Looks like it's coming down over in West Memphis into Marion. If you live downtown, you're probably hearing the rumbles of thunder. You can see the lightning bolts on that map. Also, Bass Pro getting some light to moderate rain. These storms will continue to track off towards the east and quickly be heard and felt and seen as it continues to track off towards the east. And I'm going to track it out for you as it makes its way across Shelby County. It'll be at Bass Pro at 7:09. Right now it's 7:09, so it's going to get there in less than a minute. Downtown Memphis around 7:16, Whitehaven at 7:18, Bartlett at 7:21, Germantown at 7:26, Lakeland at 7:30, and Collierville at 7:34. I'm naming all of these times because this area is under a severe thunderstorm warning. That severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, goes on until 7:30 or 7:45. I know the tornado warning to our north goes on until 7:45, but the biggest threat will be 70 mile per hour wind gusts, which could more than likely knock out power. So I highly recommend you stay off the roadways. If we have some cameras, can you pop them up for me? This is talking to the producer. I know she had one over in Clarkdale, over in Arkansas. You can see that the rain is coming on down in that area. This is the area that is currently under that tornado warning. Really don't see much except reduced visibility and slick roadways. And notice people still have their lights on. You need to have your lights on when it's storming so other cars can see you. See a few people that have their hazard lights on as they continue to track off into, I believe that is in Clarkdale. So across Shelby County right now, we do have that line of storms currently making its way east of the Mississippi River, and it's going to be in Whitehaven at 7:18, Germantown around 7:26, Lakeland at 7:30, and Collierville at 7:34. Notice there's a lot of lightning. That red is just heavy rain, and also dealing with those damaging wind gusts. Julia?
So they're monitoring 3 separate circulations in the line as we're approaching the Mississippi River.
Okay, and what areas is that?
So
more than likely this one.
Yes.
I see
It's going to be
a little notch near Golden Lake. But this is the area that's currently under that tornado warning. That is over just to the east of Clarkdale. It's about to make its way into Locke. So Locke, make sure you are in your safe place. It's also making its way closer to South Forest Road, which kind of intersects on the other side to North Road. And then we have Cuba Millington Road, which eventually gets into Cuba, Sloanville, and West Union. Have they said anything about extending that tornado warning?
Not yet. Still expires at 7:45.
Yeah, and right now it's 7:11, and it's moving really fast, and the end of that box or polygon ends at Sloanville. So this is the area that we're keeping an eye on. This is the area of circulation. It's going to continue to track off towards the east around 40 miles per hour, and it's going to be over in Locke right around 7:16, so in about 4 minutes. It'll be in Cuba at 7:20, Sloanville at 7:23, Lighthouse Christian Academy at 7:24, Millington at 7:27, and Millington School of Dance at 7:27. These are the areas that have the best chance of dealing with that area of circulation that has prompted that tornado warning for parts of Shelby, Tipton, and Crittenden is more than likely out of it because it's back off to the west. So that goes on until around 7:45 for this morning. And we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that, as well as keeping an eye on everything else that's going on across the Mid-South, because we do have that wind advisory, as Julia mentioned, until midnight early Saturday. We do have that tornado watch for along and south of I-40 that goes on until around 11 o'clock for this morning. And just looking at some wind across the area, this is going a little bit farther south, seeing gusty winds near Crenshaw and Sledge. Also seeing gusty winds just to the east of Tunica. This area is also under a severe thunderstorm warning. I can go ahead and track that out. And this is where the winds are right here. I'll put it around 60 miles. Is that main line 60 miles per hour, Julia?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so here is the timing for what's going on in DeSoto and over in Tunica and into Tate County just a little bit. It's as it tracks off
We're
towards
now to a new tornado warning.
We do.
That is going to be, hang on one second, sorry I froze. Hang on. Okay, it's frozen. Hang on one second.
No, it's fine. I can look it up over here. All right, it looks like National Weather Service is canceling.
Okay, so new tornado warning, there it goes. This is going to be for, again, Crittenden, Mississippi, Shelby County, and they...
No, that's the one they're canceling.
Oh, that's the one they're canceling.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, they're canceling the one for Crittenden, Mississippi, Shelby, and Tipton. That is great news. That means that circulation is falling apart. But we are getting reports out of Paragould. Several streets are closed due to high water. Let's zoom on out. You have an update?
There's a tornado warning well off to our south out of the area.
Okay. That means we don't have to worry about them.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to keep an eye on our area. So this is a wider look of what's going on right now. Right now it's 7:14, 7:15. Looks like I have a little bit of a note. Okay. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning, Julia, for Shelby County, also for DeSoto, Tate, as well as Quitman in Panola. And we have that tornado watch along and south of I-40. So let's start with the good news. No active tornado warnings. The bad news, we still have several severe thunderstorm warnings, and that threat will primarily be 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Julia, do you have an update on like MLG and W?
Yes, so it stayed pretty consistent. Again, those wind gusts are expected to rise into the 70s, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. We're still around 600 people without power. Again, that main area that we're looking at is within the 240 loop. We're also seeing a heavy area of power outages along Austin P as you're approaching the I-40. As you're approaching I-40. Oh, cool. Nice. We have the power outages. So, again, 600 customers are going to be without power right now. We are still under that wind advisory and under that severe thunderstorm warning. We are expecting wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. So, again, power outages are likely, so charge up those devices and download that Fox 13 weather app.
Yes, and so it looks like the National Weather Service, they are going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning for Crittenden, DeSoto, Shelby, and Tipton And that one was going to go on, I believe, until around 7:45. That threat was 70 mile per hour wind gust, and it was moving at 55 miles per hour. So this is what's going on outside. Still have those areas highlighted. That's under the severe thunderstorm warning. You do have the tornado watch along and south of I-40 for much of North Mississippi, East Arkansas, and across West Tennessee. It's mainly Shelby County all the way to McNairy. And here's that line of storms. I'm going to clean it up for you. It looks a little bit messy, but here's that line of storms that we're keeping an eye on. If we stop it, this is the line of storms that brings that wind threat. But notice behind it, it's just going to be some heavy rain. So this is going to be our area of concern from Dyersburg all the way to Hernando, a little bit farther south, looks like from Oxford to Water Valley. Want to keep an eye on those storms. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and track that out for you from Oxford to Water Valley. I think it is moving off towards the north. So Oxford, you had some storms earlier. Hopefully that'll keep it there a little bit more stable. Still seeing a lot of lightning over in Oxford with these storms as they track off towards the north. But a little bit farther north, we have this line of storms that's bringing that 70 mile per hour wind threat just to the west of Dyersburg all the way to Hernando. So I'm going to go ahead and track that one out for you as it makes its way off towards the east from Blytheville all the way through downtown. If you live in downtown, you probably hear some thunder, and more than likely going to be seeing all that heavy rain coming on down. Here's that timing. Right now it's 7:18. At 7:22, the line of storms will continue to track through downtown Memphis. Collierville, 7:40. Whiteville around 8:04. Jackson, Tennessee at 8:16. Selmer at 8:39. Corinth at 8:49. And Waverly right around 9:07. So this is the line of storms that will bring that wind threat. Good news, based off of what Julia has mentioned, it sounds like the power outage numbers have gone down, but this line has yet to move on through. And you'll know when it arrives because it's going to be loud. Those winds are going to be whipping when they move on through. Do we have any of our reporters live? And if so, where are they? You don't? Okay, cool. All right, so we are going to continue to track these line of storms as they track east of the Mississippi River, and it's actually moving really fast. The timing that I used earlier this morning had those storms mainly making its way east of the river by 8 o'clock. It's 7:18 right now, mainly because of the forward momentum of those storms moving around 60 miles per hour with wind gusts of around 70 miles per hour. So that's something to be looking for, but it's also going to bring considerable damage, especially for those under that severe thunderstorm warning. And that again includes those along and south of I-40. That includes Memphis and in Hernando. Looks like we just got a fresh update from the National Weather Service. More than likely, just going to continue the warning for DeSoto, Tunica, and Shelby. That's that severe thunderstorm warning, right? Correct, Julia?
Yes, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Memphis, West Memphis, and Marion, Arkansas until 7:30.
Okay, and then National Weather Service is canceling the severe thunderstorm warning for Crittenden, Lee, and St. Francis. Do we know if there are any school closures? I think Val might have some information on that.
We certainly do. Breaking news just into Fox 13. Lakeland schools have delayed the start of school due to this severe weather that's happening right now in the region. We're reaching out to other school districts to find out if there are delays or any cancellations. And so here's what we have right now, though. Lakeland schools, again, delaying the start of the school day. They want to make sure no one's out in this storm as it's hitting the Mid-South right now. So we'll be monitoring that for more.
Julia, what do you have? Thank you,
See,
Val.
the new thunderstorm warning now includes Bartlett, South Haven, and Germantown. That'll be till 7:45.
Okay. And how does that, the wording of it, is it still the 70 mile per hour wind gusts?
Severe thunderstorm. It popped up on my Twitter before it popped up on the chat.
It's fine. I can go ahead and track it while you're looking at it. So I'm going to do a closer look at what's going on across Shelby County and DeSoto. I believe it's making its way off towards the east around, I'll still do 60 miles per hour with that the speed of the storm.
Winds up to 60 miles per hour for sure. Still checking on how fast it's moving.
So here's the line of storms. It's already making its way through the western side of Shelby County. It'll be over in Arlington right around 7:35. So the next, say, 15 minutes. Collierville at 7:41. Oakland at 7:46. Summerville at 7:56. Whiteville around 8:04. And Grand Junction around 8:09. So if I read off your town or area that you live in, just be prepared for reduced visibility, a lot of thunder, but also dealing with the 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We do have a shot of a camera. I believe it's over in North Mississippi. Here we go right now. We can see that along the interstate or the highway, reduced visibility. That's what we're dealing with right now. Slick roadways. You can barely see what's on the camera, but this heavy rain will just continue to track east of the Mississippi River over the next few hours. And what's most important about all of this is around the time the kids are headed to school. This is around the time you're headed to work. So please take it slow. Before we even got on for wall-to-wall coverage, Julia was already tracking accidents on 240 and also tracking accidents elsewhere across the city. So you know it is going to be a mess on the roadways as we deal with this heavy rain and on top of that breezy wind, especially if you have a high profile car. So again, these storms tracking off towards the east. It'll be in Arlington at 7:35, Collierville at 7:41, Oakland at 7:46, and Whiteville at 8:04. Believe there's still an accident on Danny Thomas. Where's this I-40 at? Danny, this is Julia's field. Julia, what's going on over
Yes,
there?
so we do have I was talking about it earlier. There's an obstruction in the roadway that caused a multi-vehicle accident. This is 40 as you're heading around that loop southbound. Again, I counted about 10 vehicles involved in this crash, and this happened about 30 minutes ago. Looks like we finally got crews on the scene. They've definitely blocked off that left lane, but as you can see from that camera, reduced visibility right in that area. They're starting to zoom in again. I counted about 10 vehicles, all with their hazards on, pushed over into that left lane. Again, that's due to those gusty winds. So make sure before you head out, hold on tight to your steering wheel. We are expecting up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts across the mid-south. And you can see that camera shaking back and forth. We are under that wind advisory for the entire day. And so you can see as those cars are going around, also dealing with ponding because that rain is coming down in a short amount of time. So leading to ponding across the roadway. So again, this is going to be I-40 as you're heading southbound as you're approaching Danny Thomas.
All right, thank you, Julia. And Julia was mentioning about the reduced visibility. Right now, that visibility, it is extremely low, especially back off to our west, over in West Memphis and in Tunica. Visibility is down to a mile there, as well as in Tunica, 3-mile visibility in Millington, down to 4 miles in Jonesboro, and in Clarksdale and Oxford. We were looking at you earlier. Visibility is down to around 2 miles. So we have reduced visibility due to the heavy rain. Also, damaging wind gusts of around 70 miles per hour. That can make our numbers go up, especially with power outages across the Mid-South. Have that tornado watch along and south of I-40. It goes on until 11 o'clock for this morning, and we do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly south of I-40. And includes Shelby County, also much of DeSoto, and a little bit farther south into Panola, as well as Quitman. That's a little bit farther south. So it looks like 3 separate severe thunderstorm warnings that go on until around 7:45. Right now it's 7:25, and we're going to continue to track that as that threat will continue to be damaging wind gusts and some small hail. I think the size for the hail was what, quarter size?
Up to quarter size, and Brittany had a new report for our power outages. I don't know if we have a look at that map. It just got over 1,500 people across the Mid-South without power. Again, that 240 loop is where we're really focusing in on. I think we can update it. Mine says 1,500 over here. Can you press the refresh? Yeah, maybe press the refresh. Anyways, we're seeing a lot of power outages. Again, mine says 1,500. That main area is going to be along 240. Within that I-40 loop, those areas all along 240 are dealing with those power outages due to those gusty winds. We're still under that wind advisory. Again, expecting winds. There we go. There's that refresh button. Up to 1,500 people right now in Shelby County without power under that wind advisory. That severe thunderstorm warning has moved out of that area in particular, but as you can see, those winds did some damage when that severe thunderstorm warning moved through that particular area with up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, again, causing power outages at one of the most important times of the day.
Okay, so we do have that severe thunderstorm warning that just got expired as Julia was just wrapping up. Thank you, Julia.
Yay.
That severe thunderstorm warning has expired for Crittenden, also DeSoto, Shelby, and Tipton. That was going to go on until I think around 7:45, so they expired that one a little bit early. But I still have a tracker on this line of storms as it tracks off towards the east. It's going to be in Parkway Village at 7:30, Germantown at 7:35, Arlington at 7:37, Collierville right around 7:43, and Rossville right at 7:51. So there's that line of storms as it tracks through Bartlett and Millington, about to make its way into East Memphis and also South Memphis, probably hearing that heavy rain right now. And it'll eventually be over in Cordova and Bartlett, Lakeland and Arlington, and in Collierville as we head into the second half of the 7 o'clock hour. So around 7:43, 7:45. Heavy rain coming on down, reducing visibility. If we have any cameras that's on across Shelby County, you can probably see how heavy that rain is coming on down. And as Julia mentioned, this is around the time that everyone is going to work, they're going to school. We're dealing with that heavy rain, and we do have traffic tracker. Carolyn Serta was in that earlier. She's on the Highland Strip. Rain really isn't coming down too heavy because normally we can hear it in the studio, but you can see how thick the cloud cover is, how dark the clouds are. Good news, looks like traffic lights are still working in this area, but roadways, they are slick. So please take it slow if you are out and about on these roadways as we deal with pockets of heavy rain and actually hear the rain starting to pick up here in the University of Memphis area. And you can see that right there. That line of storms is bisecting Shelby County as we speak. So if you live over in East Memphis, Bartlett, Cordova, Lakeland, Collierville, and Germantown, that heavy rain, it's headed your way. Now, I want to go back to Julia 5 because, Julia, you were talking about how the number of MLG and W customers has gone up. Has it gone up in areas that just received the gusty winds?
Yes, so that original severe thunderstorm warning that moved through definitely did its damage. So right now, in the 240 loop, that's where we're expecting most of those power outages, and especially along 240 as you're heading into Midtown. We're seeing over 100 people worth of without power right now in that area. It's starting to expand along the I-40 loop as well. And again, winds are up to 70 miles per hour, and just sustained winds right now I'm seeing at 30 miles per hour. So again, hold tight when you're driving out there on the roadway. We've got those slick roadways. We've got several accidents working. We've had one since for about 30 minutes now involving about 10 cars. Slick roadways, gusty winds. It's causing a nightmare of commute this morning, so use caution. Those winds are going to be that primary threat. I'll continue to keep an eye on these outages for you. Right now we're at 1,500 people without power across Shelby County.
All right, thank you, Julia. And you might be able to hear the rain coming on down on our rooftops. We also have Fox 13 reporter Carolyn Serta. She's out in traffic tracker over in the University of Memphis area or over in Orange Mountain. You can see with this live look, visibility is being reduced. That rain is getting heavy. Again, we can hear it in the University of Memphis area. We're also going to be more than likely, don't be surprised if you hear some rumbles of thunder, though it seems like that line has weakened a bit when it comes to all that lightning, which is good news. But wind will continue to be that threat. I'm going to track this out for you as it continues to track out towards the east. It's going to be over in Bartlett at 7:28, or really needs to update at 7:30 right now. Lakeland at 7:35, Arlington at 7:38, Fisherville at 7:42, Collierville at 7:44, and Rossville at 7:52. So the shot that we just showed you, that's what it's going to be looking like in your area as that heavy line of rain moves on through. And what we're seeing when we're tracking this out, we're also dealing with the heavier rain. That's that red. This looks like it's on the northern portion of Shelby County into Bartlett and Millington, especially on Summer and Sam Cooper. That area is going to be dealing with that heavy rain as it tracks off towards the east. recap, we are dealing with some strong storms across the Mid-South. We do have that tornado watch. It goes on until around 11 o'clock for this morning for much of North Mississippi and majority of East Arkansas from Wynn south and across Shelby County all the way to Selmer. It goes on until 11 o'clock for this morning. We also have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. The one across Shelby County, I believe, was canceled, especially for Creighton, Lee, and St. Francis. They're no longer under a severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning was canceled for Creighton, DeSoto, Shelby, and Tipton. I believe that's the farther south location. And we still have one that's well to our south. But that main threat with all of those warnings, that was with damaging wind gusts of around 70 miles per hour. So right now, this is what we're stuck with, that line of storms. And looking at the progression of it, you notice how we have that deeper red. Now we're seeing more of just yellow. So that line of storms is weakening as it tracks off towards the east. I'm looking at our temperature map all the way on my side, and it looks like temperatures are also a lot cooler as well. It's rain-cooled air. We're at 55 degrees, looks like in Tunica and in here in Memphis, 50 degrees in Corinth. You want the temperatures to be this cool. That means it's less chance for severe weather. So it looks like it's just going to be all heavy rain right now for the next few hours, which is good news. But also, just want to prepare you just in case we do have some power outages. And Julia 5 has been keeping an eye on the power outages in Severe Weather Center 13. Has that number gone up any?
It stayed pretty consistent. We're still at 1,500 people without power just here in Shelby County. We can pull up the map for you. That main area we're focused on is within that 240 loop. That's when we're seeing the most power outage, especially along 240 as you're heading into Midtown. We saw that severe thunderstorm warning make its way through that area with wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Now, something else we're dealing with is just accidents across the Mid-South due to that heavy rain that's leading to ponding, also reduced visibility. So I've been looking at our visibility map, and right now we've got reduced visibility, especially west of the Mississippi River. So right now we're seeing up to 1 mile worth of visibility, mainly west of the Mississippi River. Again, that's going to be in West Memphis and in Tunica. Again, this is due to that heavy rain that's coming down. Also up in Jonesboro, Millington, Clarksdale, that's making its way towards the east once that line of thunderstorms moves through. So expect reduced visibility on your commute this morning. So let's take it back to meteorologist Brittany DeBose.
Thank you, Julia. So we do have a lot going on across the area. We do have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings until 7:45 right now. It's 7:33, and I do believe that we do have Carolyn Cerda, so I'm going to toss to the anchors so they can ask her what's going on in her area.
She's been out and about in traffic trackers. She was in Crittenden County when that tornado warning came down. Now she's, I think, in the East Memphis area, maybe Midtown area.
And Carolyn, you were telling us about how the high winds and all that rain was impacting traffic tracker 13. What's the situation now, and where are you?
Hi, we're just getting off of Southern here. As y'all mentioned, we were leaving the University of Memphis area, and as Brittany was mentioning, that heavy rain coming down, that actually was the most we had seen. When that tornado warning came out, we were more in the downtown Memphis area, just coming back in from the Arkansas side across the bridge. So we definitely wanted to get off of the roadways into safety when that warning came out. It was the heavy rain that we saw, but it's been spotty in our drive. Of course, we're moving all morning long, so we're not staying in one spot in particular. But as we've been driving, this is what we've been seeing consistently is rain. Definitely from sprinkles to the heavy downpour we just saw not even 3 to 5 minutes ago, closer to back toward the station on the Highland Strip when it was coming down even harder. Now we just have more of a light rain here right now on Lamar Avenue where we are. But we have seen, if you can kind of see a little to your right, the ponding we're seeing here on Lamar Avenue. Avenue. This is what we are seeing everywhere we're going. Ponding in different areas, and also debris in the roadway. People who have their trash cans out and their debris piles that have been knocked over into the roadway. Branches, not large branches, but small branches still in the roadway. We have come across that where we've had to move over, slow down, move over, and get around debris in the roadway. So definitely the winds impacting, maybe not shaking your entire car, but causing some obstacles in the roadway that you will need to be careful of and cautious as you head out on the roadways this morning. Definitely the debris and ponding in the roadway is what we're seeing in our travels this morning from Memphis, East Memphis, into West Memphis, Arkansas as well.
Yeah, I was wondering how, what kind of impact all that high wind would have on the power outages. I guess we have our answer.
Yeah.
now.
Excuse me. It's now about 4,000 homes and businesses, MLGW, without power right now. If you look at that map, it has jumped up considerably. We started out the morning about like this, got it down to about 400. So right now, nearly 4,000 homes and businesses in the dark. Where you see the orange or the red is where there's area with more concentrated outages. Like I'm clicking on the one in the red. It said power should be, it was reported about 6:43, but we have no idea how long it will take to get it back on. Be patient,
The thing about that, like, the crews are out there working earlier, getting it back on, and then another wave of crazy weather comes through. They can't work in that.
They have to take
They
a
have to
break
take a
as
break,
well. So keep your devices plugged in. Brittany said that we'll have heavy rain the next little while, though, so hopefully the worst is over, but we'll be checking back.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So outside right now, still dealing with reduced visibility because of all that rain. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning until around 7:45. So it's 7:37 right now. We have about 8 minutes until that officially expires. Visibility is low over in West Memphis and in Tunica, 3-mile visibility in Millington, down to 5 miles in Olive Branch, 2-mile visibility over in Oxford, and we're down to 4 miles in Jonesboro and Clarksdale. So as you make your commute to work and school this morning, please take it slow. On top of that, still have that tornado watch until around 11 o'clock for this morning, mainly along and south of I-40 for much of East Arkansas, North Mississippi, and West Tennessee from Shelby all the way to McNairy. And a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, the ones that I said expire at 7:45. It includes the east half of Shelby County, parts of DeSoto, and a little bit farther south into Panola and Quitman counties. Damaging wind gusts will be that threat. And you saw from Carolyn's live shot where she was driving, or where her photog was driving, roadways, they are slick. Visibility, it continues to be low as this line of storm tracks off to the east. Now, the good news, when it was over in East Arkansas, you noticed how deep the red was. That means that was stronger, heavier rain coming on down. As it crossed the Mississippi River, it weakened, but we still have that wind threat. We were looking at the MLG and W map, and that number went from 1,000 to over 4,000 across the mids, or across Shelby County, as that line of heavy rain and gusty winds moved on through. So we still have that severe thunderstorm warning until around 7:45. Right now, it's almost 7:40. And we're going to continue to track that rain. It looks like, or it sounds like, the MLG and W map, it got updated to over 600 now instead of over 4,000, correct? Oh, here's the map, 1,600. It looks like 1,600 now are without power, which is better than the 4,000 that we saw earlier for this morning. So that is great news, especially since we are expecting a major cool down behind this cold front. We are expecting some snow late Sunday into Monday, and then sub-zero wind chills early next week as well. So we want everyone to have power before all of that happens. Definitely want to be able to stay warm. But temperatures are going to be dropping after this line of storms move on in. Right now, we're mainly in the low to mid 50s. By the time we get to noontime, still going to be in the low 50s. But when you get off work, temperatures are going to be in the 30s and 40s, and will continue to plummet into the overnight and into the weekend. So we still have some areas under that severe thunderstorm warning Still have some of us under that tornado watch, mainly south of I-40, until around 11 o'clock for tonight. So that main line of storms right now is approaching Arlington, Lakeland, and in Germantown. I'm also going to include Olive Branch when I time out where it's all going. It's tracking off towards the east. It'll be in Germantown in less than a minute. It's going to be in Arlington at 7:43, Fisherville at 7:46, Collierville at 7:48, but the high school 1 minute after that, around 7:49, Collierville High School. That's over near Estanola. Oakland around 7:52, and then Warren right around 7:56. So a line of heavy rain and gusty winds going to be tracking on through. But behind that, we're just stuck to light to moderate rain over in Millington, Bartlett, inside that 240 loop, South Memphis, downtown, over in Pisgah Heights, and in Whitehaven. It looks like the airport is slowly starting to get rid of some of that heavier rain, but it's still going to cause issues on the roadways. We were looking at multiple accidents earlier this morning, and that was even before the heavy rain had moved on in. And now that we have that heavy rain, still dealing with a few accidents across the Mid-South. I'm looking at Julia 5's traffic maps, and all I see for the road conditions, yellow and orange. You know that is not good, especially since a lot of people are about to hit the roadways or are on the roadways. There's going to be a lot of slowdowns across Shelby County due to this rain, due to the heavy wind. This is a live look from I-40, and Danny Thomas still have a little bit of a slowdown. People were taking it slow, just looking at the cameras off to the side. But these storms will continue to bring us some rain. Even after the heavy rain has moved on in, we're going to get some light to moderate showers, and then behind that, the much cooler air. So right now it's 7:42. I want to go until at least it expires, which is 7:45. We do have a new update, though, at 7:39. National Weather Service, they did expire the severe thunderstorm warning for DeSoto, Tunica, and Shelby. Good news for us. They're also expiring the severe thunderstorm warning for Panola, Equipment, and Tallahatchie, and Yalobusha. That's over in Mississippi. So that is good news. It looks like everything has been expired. We're just going to be dealing with heavy rain right now. So I'm going to go back to all of the main map. We're just stuck with, looks like a tornado watch, because they're about to get rid of the severe thunderstorm warning in our area and to our south, as well as near Oakland. So we're going to go back to our regular coverage, and I'm going to make sure to keep an eye on this line of storms if something flares back up. We're also going to talk about traffic and how traffic is moving. But I'm going to go back to the anchors right now and what's going on outside.
All right, so we're going to toss to the commercial break right now, get kind of regroup and everything. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's happening in the area. We've got reporters out checking to see if there's any damage, also the roadways and such.
Hopefully the worst is over, but we'll have continuing coverage and team weather coverage when we come back.